Hi, everyone. I want to spend a few minutes just going through ways and things you have to do to be successful in virtual math class. This is a lot different than what we did in the spring. And many of the ways to be successful in virtual math class with this format are the same as normal math class that you've had the first 7.5 years of school. So we still have to be organized. We still need to have different supplies with us every day. So you need to have an organized notebook. Math builds. You know that. Let me underline this. So math keeps building. So what you learn in September, you need in October and May and so forth. You guys all know that. So you have to have a notebook that's organized. In the spring, you might have been in the habit of just like you do a worksheet and then it's gone. Do a worksheet and it's gone. So you need to have a 3-hole punch so that you can keep things organized. Now, when I give you notes, so let me go backwards. So when I make an organized notebook, I usually say 3 sections, but for right now, I would at least divide it into 2 things. You should have your notes all in one section, like with a divider, and then you should have your homework slash like any worksheets, any independent work that you do. So if you have 2 choices, you can either write all the problems or you can print a copy of the worksheet. If I give you guided notes, you can either write them all or you can print and fill it in. But if you print them, you're going to want to have a 3-hole punch to keep your things organized. Keeping an organized notebook is really important. Don't just get rid of it the day you do it. You want to have obviously pencils, you want to have your calculator with you, and you want to have a folder to put worksheets, or like I said, just have a section for those worksheets. Colored pencils, highlighters, those are also helpful as well. When you come into our Google meeting, you want to be prepared. You're expected to be on time. We do have expectations with this virtual. We want you to be ready for math class. I want you to ask questions. This is really, 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 really important. You're going to have an opportunity at the end of each period, the last half of each period, you'll have time to work and do work on an assignment, and that's your time to ask questions. You did not have that in the spring. Make sure you take advantage of that time and communicate with me. I don't know if you're having trouble unless you ask. Always be respectful. Mute your device when you're not talking. Make sure that this is even during virtual learning, we do expect you to be respectful and have common courtesy. And obviously, we want you to do your homework every day. Make sure you, again, don't get yourself behind in math. If you did not have good habits in the spring, make sure you realize that, okay, I'm going to get myself in a hole if I don't work hard in math. Every homework assignment you submit, when you hit the submit button, you must have your name clearly. So if you take a picture of your worksheet and you submit it, whether it's a worksheet that you print and write on it, or if it's just problems from the book, you have to have your name at the top. Now, I'm sure none of you did this, but we had students last year that would just take a picture and conveniently, the name was cut off and they were turning in other students' work. You need to do your own work. You have to have your name at the top. We will not give credit if you don't put your name. You do have to show work. Last year in the spring, we had a lot of students. They thought that, okay, I just turn in answers. It's just like you've always done in math. You have to show work. You will not get credit if you don't show your work. Be neat. Each time, each assignment, you'll see it'll go into the Home Access Center. It's worth 2 points. All problems have to be attempted, and deadlines matter now. In the spring, you could turn it in a week later and it didn't matter. All assignments are due at 11:59, basically midnight, the day that they are assigned. If you have technical problems, contact me, send me an email before the assignment is due. We talked about taking notes a little bit. Keep an organized notebook. You can write all your notes on a piece of paper. We talked about this. Don't just sit and watch. Make sure you are engaged and paying attention and writing the problems and trying the examples. When I give you time to do an example, make sure you're trying it. This is a very important part. Make sure you're not just sitting and watching. Everything that I write, you should be writing. Definitions, examples. That's what your math notes are, is copying the examples that I do. A good way to study for tests is to read and highlight your notebook. You will have electronic tests during this time. You still need to turn in a copy of your work. So you're going to let's say you do the electronic quiz, you're not finished. You're going to have a piece of paper that has all of your work. You're going to take a picture and submit that. And I'm definitely going to be looking at your work. If you just have no work and all answers, you won't get a good score on that test. Your grading, we can talk more. It's going to be just on the tack. It'll be homework and quizzes and tests and other assignments. When you're absent, go into Canvas. Everything that's in that day. Like, so let's say you're absent on a Wednesday, you'll see the notes, you'll see the assignments, you'll see a copy of the PDF. Like, I will save everything we do at the end of the period, and I'll post that in there, and you can see, obviously Math Builds, you don't want to get yourself behind, but Canvas is the place you would go to see everything we do. Extra help will be available. Not exactly sure. I'm pretty sure it's going to be 8:15 to 8:45 in the morning. Just contact me. Tell me, Mr. Gibson, I need to, can I have some help on this? You'll go to the Google Meeting link, the same one we use for class, and I'll just be in there from 8:15 to 8:45. But make sure you give me a heads up in case I have a meeting or something. I can tell you I'm not available Tuesday, but I'll be here tomorrow, and so forth. So hopefully this information helps.